we are honestly living in some weird and slightly scary times right now. It is not because the internet turned evil, but because the tools we have today can do things that used to take a whole team an entire week to finish. Just last week, I fed a long live stream into a new tool, and in under an hour, I had 10 ready-to-post vertical clips that felt like they came from a pro editor. I had to stop and remind myself that it was still my content, but the way it was reorganized, trimmed, and polished was honestly wild. Let me be real with you for a second, because for creators and brands, long-form content is both gold and a massive headache at the same time. You spend hours pouring your best thoughts into a live stream or podcast, and then comes the grind of finding the right moments and trimming them down. It is tedious, expensive if you hire a freelancer, and completely inconsistent if you try to do it yourself while you are already tired. That is exactly why I started testing tools that promise to automate the editing mojo, and Vizard became the one I actually stuck with. Before you roll your eyes at another magic tool claim, hear me out, because I want to walk you through my exact process. I want to explain why this fits into my workflow without making this feel like a boring sales pitch. Think of this as a friendly walkthrough of the struggles, the aha moments, and the realistic limitations of these types of tools. My starting point is always the same. People who watch short clips are not looking for a documentary, they are looking for a moment. They want a laugh, a reaction, or a strong opinion. Basically a 3-second take that stops their scroll dead in its tracks. So the challenge becomes, how do you reliably find those moments inside long recordings and turn them into platform-ready posts fast? Enter Vizard, which helps me with the 3 things I actually care about: finding viral parts, scheduling without babysitting, and managing the chaos. First, let's talk about the auto-editing of viral clips, which is the real game changer here. You upload a long video, like a podcast or a live stream, and the system scans it for engagement spikes and meaningful pauses. Instead of me staring at a timeline for an hour hunting for that one 12-second gold nugget, the tool does all the heavy lifting for me. It finds moments I missed, suggests different crop points, and spits out vertical edits that are already paced perfectly for mobile feeds. I still open a few of them to tweak the language or trim a beat here and there, but the time savings are enormous. Think of the difference between cleaning your entire room with a tiny toothbrush versus using a powerful vacuum with a motorized head. Both remove the dirt, but one lets you cover way more ground with significantly less effort. Then there is the auto-scheduling feature, which is perfect if you are like me and often forget to post things. Vizard removes that friction by letting you set a posting frequency and queuing the clips to go live automatically. You can pick specific windows like peak hours, or just set it to a slow drip over a month, basically turning it into content autopilot. I choose the cadence, and the tool says it will handle the rest, which saves my brain from needing to remember every single detail. Finally, there's the content calendar, which is where everything sits if you work with a team or just need to see your whole pipeline. You can reorder clips, add notes, and edit captions without jumping between a dozen different apps. This calendar simply turns the daily chaos of content creation into a coherent plan. My structure for this workflow is simple. I treat repurposing like a relay race. The long video hands the baton to a series of short clips, each doing one job, whether that is making someone laugh or pushing them to subscribe. My first step is just uploading the raw footage, whether it is a podcast or an interview, and letting the scanning begin. Second, I let the AI propose clips so I can see what it thinks are the most impactful moments. It is not about quantity here, it is about variety, so I mix quick laughs with deep quotes and practical tips. Third, I do a quick human pass to skim the edits, tighten the tempo, and add a short caption. Even if the AI cuts mid-sentence, it is totally fine because a tiny adjustment makes it watchable again. Fourth, I batch schedule the ones I like and drop them straight into the calendar. Finally, I analyze the results after the posts go live and use that data as feedback for future edits. I want to be honest about why this feels natural and not like a jagged, forced sales pitch. The trap is making a demo look perfect, but I want to be clear about the limitations. Vizard does a great job at surfacing viral moments, but it is not perfect if your content relies on extreme nuance or obscure context. If your brand has very specific requirements for thumbnails and captions, the tool is a fantastic accelerator, but not a full replacement for a human eye. I have tried a bunch of other editors and repurposing suites in the past. Some are cheap but crashy, others are polished but expensive, and many require juggling 3 different apps just to get one video out the door. Other tools also tend to overpromise on AI accuracy by highlighting loud noises as viral moments. Vizard's suggestions actually tend to be more context-aware, which makes a huge difference in the final product. But remember, if you want 100% automated cinematic color grade or complex motion graphics, you still need a human. For day-to-day growth, however, it hits that perfect sweet spot of speed, quality, and price. Think of it like a messy closet, where you have 50 shirts, but only 10 are actually wearable and on trend. One option is standing there for an hour trying everything on, or you could hand your closet to a smart friend who knows your style. That is what this tool does. It pulls the outfits and arranges them so you do not wear the same thing twice in 1 week. Let's look at real examples because I fed a 90-minute live stream into the tool and it pulled 14 candidate clips. I scheduled 6 of them over a 2-week window, and 2 clips actually blew up and drove a steady stream of new followers. The effort involved was roughly 20 minutes of review and some minor tweaks to the captions. Before this, that same workload would have eaten half a day and cost me serious money if I had to hire someone else to do it. There are also smaller features I love, like the auto subtitles that catch most of what I say and are super easy to edit. The crop suggestions for different platforms are also a huge time saver because they handle the vertical and square formats for you. And the team comments on the calendar are perfect if you are collaborating and need to flag clips to boost or change. Now, when is this not the right fit for you? If you are running a highly produced brand campaign that needs exact shot framing and custom motion graphics, this is not a full replacement. It is faster and cheaper for grassroots creators, but if you need complex ad sequences, you might still want a specialized editor. So, what should you do next if you want to try it? Start with a single piece of long-form content you already have, like a podcast or a recorded live video. Upload that, let the tool generate the clips, and commit to posting 3 of them over the next week. See what happens, and if you are getting engagement, then you can scale up and start doing more. If you are unsure, just use the calendar to drip content slowly over time so you can study the performance without burning out. I get asked all the time whether AI is going to replace creators, but my take is much simpler than that. AI tools change the rhythm, letting you spend more time ideating and creating instead of just chopping and polishing. These tools are not a shortcut to virality, but they are a massive shortcut to consistency, which matters more than any single hit. If you want a tool that finds moments, schedules them without babysitting, and manages everything in one place, Vizard is worth testing. It saved me hours of time, gave me new editing ideas, and made my content pipeline feel way less stressful. Try it on just 1 video, and judge it by the time it saves you and the engagement it helps you unlock. Alright, that is my breakdown, but if you want, drop a comment below and tell me what kind of content you have. Tell me if you have podcasts or interviews and I will suggest a quick workflow for your specific format. If nothing else, just take 1 long clip today and try turning it into a week of posts and you will feel the difference immediately.